have.
We're here, y'all. Sorry, I just had to say it. I was like, we're here. We did it. We're doing it.
Well, I think it's right about 6:30, so we will begin. Good evening, everyone. This is the Santa Barbara County Independent Redistricting Commission meeting of December the 13th. We'll call the meeting to order at 6:30. Dr. Phillips, are you helping us out with roll calls tonight?
Yes, I am.
Many thanks.
Commissioner Trotsky,
Present.
Commissioner Twibell,
Present.
Commissioner McClintock,
Present.
Vice Chair Turley,
Present.
Commissioner Bradley,
Present.
Commissioner Kasif,
Present.
Commissioner Bray,
Present.
Commissioner Ochoa,
Present.
Chair Morris,
Present.
Commissioner Hartman,
Present.
Commissioner Rios.
Present.
Looks like we have a full crew. And I think we're missing a 0 on the attendee count. There's only 27. I don't know. We're not as popular tonight, folks. Maybe there's a better movie on. Okay, so we will proceed through the agenda. Item number 1, once again, is a reminder that disclosures of ex parte communications on the part of the commissioners can be found via the link at the bottom of the main page of the website drawsantabarbaracounty.org. We would direct anyone who's curious about who we've had a chance to visit with to check it out on that form that's available there. Items 3 and 4 are our main topics for this evening. Item 3 is the final adoption of a map determining electoral district boundaries for the Santa Barbara County Board of Supervisors. And item 4 is related. It is approval of the final report to be issued with the adopted map, explaining the basis on which the commission made its decisions in achieving compliance with the ordinance. I think let's start. Let's try to follow some procedure here. Is there a motion to adopt the final map? Let's start with item number 3. I see Vice Chair Turley's hand is up. I see Commissioner McClintock. I'll take him as the second, or maybe we'll take it unanimously as the second. Before we go to a vote on that item, we'll go to our friends out there, and take public comment. For those in the audience that wish to make public comment, you should know the drill by now, but use the raise your hand feature. And I would invite you to make comment on items 3 and or 4. We'll do this all at once since those are related items. Dr. Phillips, are you ready to go?
Yes, my only question is there what time limit should I be enforcing?
Well, we don't have as many tonight, so let's do 2 minutes. We'll split the difference. How about that?
Okay.
So first name on my list is Kaylee Ellis, followed by Lee Heller.
Good evening. My name is Kaylee Ellis, speaking on behalf of the Grower Shipper Association of Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo counties. We commend you on completing such a challenging undertaking. Thank you for your thoughtful considerations during this important process. We urge you to adopt the final map dated 12/8/2021 as included in tonight's final report. Thank you for your service to your community and dedication to this important process.
Lee Heller, followed by Rebecca Gowing.
Chair Morris and Commissioners, I expect this will be the last time I'm talking to you, at least in this context. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for 14 months of hard work, many meetings, many more meetings than you thought you were going to have to do, a much longer process than you thought you were going to have to do. And so I personally want to express my gratitude for all the hard work that all of you have done. I look forward to reading the full legal report. I didn't get to it until a few minutes ago, but I'm glad this is over and I appreciate the chance to be on this journey with you. Thank you again.
Rebecca Gowing, followed by Roy Reed. Ms. Gowing, are you with us?
This final map, preferred map, gives a voice to the agricultural areas. Yes, I'm talking. Can
Go
you hear
ahead.
me?
We do now.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you now.
Can you? Okay. So did you hear anything?
Go ahead and start over.
I wanted to thank you guys for listening to our concerns, and this has been a very long haul. Oh, start over? Can you hear me? You can hear me. Okay. So I wanted to thank you for listening to our concerns tonight. This final preferred map gives a voice to the agricultural areas of Lompoc and San Ynez valleys. The vintners, flower growers, and cattle ranchers are finally going to have a representation of the Board of Supervisors. In addition, your final map gives the students of Isla Vista and UCSB a voice where it belongs, down in the communities of Santa Barbara and Goleta. With this preferred final map, the political representation of those of us in the San Ynez Valley, Lompoc Valley, will no longer be overshadowed by the student voice of Isla Vista. Thank you very much. I'm hoping that this does get approved and that the preferred map will be accepted tonight. Thank you guys for all your hard work and effort. Very much appreciated.
Roy Reed, followed by Roseanne Crawford.
Chair Morris and Commissioners, I'm Roy Reed, President of the Santa Barbara County Taxpayers Association. You know, a year ago, you all made the commitment to fulfill the voter-approved mission of creating a district map which would improve representation for the citizens and communities of Santa Barbara County. While the process has been rigorous, in the end, you produced a map which is the product of robust public input from every group in the community in the county. And while no one received everything they wished for, each leaves with something they needed. We arrived with our own map and left, like everyone else, with a different one, but one which achieved the spirit of the map we sponsored. And that was a more representative county government with the potential to overcome the frequent intractability we've endured over the past 10 years. Your achievement has been attested to by your unanimous approval of the final version of the map. Thank you all for your commitment and service to the people of Santa Barbara County. I'm just going to add something. You know, once Mark Twain made the comment that a camel was a horse designed by a commission, well, I tell you, in the end, I think you've came up with a really good looking horse. So thank you very much for all of your service.
Roseanne Crawford, followed by caller ending 3728.
Roseanne Crawford here. Chair Morris and board. I just can't agree enough with the speakers so far. I was extremely impressed with the process. There were many obstacles. You were pushed and pulled in different directions. But in the end, you really came together as a board and you compromised, you worked together, you really listened to citizens. And I have to say, I am so impressed by that you put people's opinions and cared about what they were relaying to you above politics. And that's just so unusual in this day and age. Hats off to you. And it's nice to hear nice things. A lot of times you get complaints, but all I can say is many thanks for a wonderful, hard job that you did an excellent job with, and you have an excellent outcome. And thank you. Congratulations.
Caller ending 3728, followed by Barbara Battistini.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. And this is Deb Robinson. I live up in Lompoc. And I used to be in District 3, but now I'm in District 4, which is just fine by me. And I wanted to thank you, like everyone else, for all the hard work that you've done for the county. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Barbara Battistini, followed by Francis Romero.
Good evening, Chair Morrison, Commissioners. I'm Barbara Battistini, and I am a generational family that has resided in Santa Barbara all these years. And I just want to thank you for doing such an amazing job. I know it was tough and you had a lot of challenges, but you really overcame them and you worked together. And it was a really great thing to watch the process. So I just want to take the time and thank you for your commitment and your stamina and your courage and your character. Thank you for giving a voice to the agriculture community, the farmers, the ranchers, the vineyard businesses. Thank you for giving the coastal students one voice. And this was just an amazing process. And I'm so grateful that I was a part of it to be able to watch firsthand. And Commissioner Morris, you just did an outstanding job. Thank you all. And yes, my final, please, the final map. That's what I wanted to say. Yes, please ratify the preferred map dated 12/8/2021. Thank you.
Thank you. Francis Romero, followed by Denise Adams.
Well, good evening, Chair Morris, commissioners, staff, members of the public. My name is Francis Romero, and I guess I turned into a bit of a frequent flyer with some of the others here in this process. And as I'll agree with everything that everyone has said up till now, and I just want to say that compromise and consensus are something that we have come to lack in today's world. And definitely, I think you all did a really good job of compromising and developing a consensus. I want to say thank you. I want to thank all of your loved ones who obviously gave up a lot of your time. I know that I was initially disappointed that I wasn't selected to serve on this commission, but after attending many meetings with all of you, I was pretty relieved to be honest, because I don't know how those of you who have jobs have managed other than to just sacrifice a lot of time, a lot of evenings. And I'm certain you probably have a lot of to-do lists that have stacked up that you're going to have to play catch up on for weeks or months to come. I want to say thank you and recognize staff. I bet the next time that this redistricting process happens, you probably are going to have your schedule laid out a little differently. Some of the turnarounds were absolutely brutal on staff. So I want to make sure that staff is recognized. I know that those folks, the consultants, being one myself, they probably worked a lot of nights and weekends to get things turned around. I want to say thank you for doing your job. I'm back in the fabulous 5th. I've never moved and I've lived in 3 districts. So hopefully this process going forward will provide some consistency and stability for the many the people in this county who have been bounced around over the last 3 decades. So thank you. Enjoy your soon-to-be break here, and hopefully the coming up votes with the Board of Supervisors will acknowledge and recognize the spirit of consensus and compromise, and we'll have some better outcomes. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Denise Adams, followed by Andy Caldwell.
Hi, this is Denise Adams. Again, I wanted to underscore what the previous speakers have said. Thank you for your dedication and hard work on the process. And also thank you for teaching all of us the importance of paying attention in college to our studies in demographics and statistics. I finally got to put mine to use, and it was an interesting process to see how I learned a lot about the different subsections of our counties just by all the presentations on demographics. So thank you. And in closing, I besides, of course, wanting you to adopt the final map, I hope that again, Chairman Morris or legal counsel, you'll explain what happens from here going forward so that the public understands what to expect. Do people serve out their terms, or when in fact does the map go into effect and all the different logistical issues? So I hope that'll be addressed, and thank you for getting the final report out so that we could read it today. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. And thanks all of you.
Andy Caldwell, followed by Nelda Martin.
Chair Morris and members of the commission, Andy Caldwell representing CoLab. For the first and most likely only time in history, I'm going to ditto what Lee Heller had to say tonight. In terms of thank you, we think the process overall came out with a good map. There's certainly things we didn't like about it, and I'm sure Lee would feel the same way. But I honestly do believe the vast majority of you gave a truly independent attempt to draw this map. And I think it shows. I've been involved in 3 redistricting processes over the last 30 years, and this was the only one that I felt was fair, and I want to thank you for it.
Thank you. Nelda Martin, followed by Terry Doutney.
Good evening, commissioners. Nelda Martin from Los Alamos. Great job. Awesome job. I'm so thankful for all of you and your staff. Your commitment through this arduous process was pretty amazing to watch it from my point of view. And I can't imagine the hours and the time and the family sacrifices. You're all to be very much congratulated. Thank you. Also, this all started with apparently 175 applicants that pared down to 11. And then you had a loss, and I'm sorry for that. But you blazed a trail that where you had to make hard choices, but you respected the neighborhoods and the history and the geographical elements. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And may God bless you and give you some peace and some time with your family and some rest. And please vote to finalize your final map choice. Great job, thank you.
Thank you. Terry Doutney, followed by Colleen Estrada. There we go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I just wanted to tell you, thank you all for your hard work. Thank you for the process. I've learned a lot, and I hope to continue learning a bunch more. Thank you for your time and your effort. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Colleen Estrada, followed by Greg Hamill.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thanks. First of all, thank you so much for all the hard work, as all the other people are rightfully acknowledging. I've been involved as a San Ynez Valley resident and a mother of the sort of the Isla Vista crew. So I've been trying to represent that constituency, both myself and my kids, because they're not going to show up to these meetings. And I think that you all have done a wonderful job in acknowledging some of the concerns for the Valley, obviously all the other districts. And I really, really appreciate that the final preferred map gives voice to the agricultural areas of Lompoc and San Ynez Valley, vintners, the flower growers, the horsemen, like myself, the retirees, and also gives a good place for the UCSB and Isla Vista kids to sort of get politically activated and have their own constituency and fight for their representation in a place that's not diluted. So thank you so much. I vote for the preferred map. I hope you go forward with it. And many, many thanks for all of the hours you've put into having this be a fair and open, transparent process.
Greg Hamill, followed by Karen Miller.
Good evening, Commission, and thank you, Chair Morris, for a wonderful process. Echo what folks have already said, and I wanted to add, thank you for listening to We the People. I represent We the People, just citizens who decided to get involved in the process because this was a citizen-driven initiative, and sure enough, we were heard. So thank you for that. I felt that our voices were heard alongside the political action committees, the political consultants, and the lawyers. We had a voice equal to theirs, and that was a great to know that that can happen in this type of process. So thank you for listening to all of us and the citizens of Santa Barbara County. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Karen Miller, and our last speaker following her will be Maria Kessner.
Hi, I'm Karen Miller. I'm from Santa Ynez. Thank you for giving us a voice, and thank you for your tireless work. And yeah, thank you. And you guys have a great night. Bye-bye.
And our final speaker this evening is Maria Kessner.
Good evening, commissioners. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. Last time you couldn't hear me, and there was something wrong with my microphone. But I'd like to thank you for this process. And you clearly did hear the public speak and all their input. And I wanted to emphasize that I think what we are losing today a little bit is that we constantly talk about diversity, but diversity of opinion and life experience is also a very important component. And also the fact that we have a system of checks and balances in our government, and that it's not always good to have just a rubber stamp vote at the county supervisor board meetings. So I'm very happy that this process has actually played out the way it should have been playing out, and that you did hear everybody's concerns. And so my head off to everybody's commitment to this process. And thank you very much. And I hope you're going to ratify the final map and accept that as the people's voice that everybody has spoken. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we'll close public comment and bring it back to the commission. Commissioners, there's a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion among the commissioners? Or are you ready to vote? Not seeing any hands go up. So Dr. Phillips, we're back to you.
Commissioner Trotsky,
Aye.
Commissioner Twibell,
Aye.
Commissioner McClintock,
Aye.
Vice Chair Turley,
Aye.
Commissioner Bradley,
Aye.
Commissioner Kasich,
Aye.
Commissioner Bray,
Aye.
Commissioner Ochoa,
Aye.
Chair Morris,
Aye.
Commissioner Hartman,
Aye.
Commissioner Rios.
Aye.
Very good. We have an 11-0 vote to adopt the map. We will forward that to the county. Amanda, I see you. Yes, I think that's worthy of a little applause. Before we finish up this evening, our next item, we do have item 4, approval of the final report that goes with this It has been published on the website and I believe was circulated to the commissioners. Are there any questions of Ms. Orden about the report before we take it on? Ms. Turley?
Yes, so I had a couple small questions. Let me just pull up my PDF really quickly here. One is in the introduction. There's a slight discrepancy between the outreach report and the legal report. Specifically that the draft maps are listed as 114 in the legal report and I think 109 in the outreach report. I believe the discrepancy is probably because of NDC submitted maps. So if that is the case, I think we should probably specify that. And then I had I think two others. On page 10, the last sentence in contiguity, the islands.
I'm sorry, on which page, on contiguity?
Page 10.
I'm sorry, thank you.
It says the islands are not accessible through regular ferry service embarking from Santa Barbara County. I think that's correct because usually it embarks out of Ventura, but I just wanted to confirm that it was supposed to say not accessible as opposed to accessible.
Are now accessible. I think is a typo. Is that Dr. Phillips, do you think? Let me read the whole paragraph to you. It's all of the commission's districts are geographically contiguous. With respect to the Channel Islands within the jurisdiction of Santa Barbara County, the commission opted to include these islands within District 2. The islands are not accessible through regular ferry service embarking from Santa Barbara County.
Yeah, so not NOT.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Wait, what were you clarifying, Vice Chair Turley? Sorry.
So two things. One, that in the outreach report, it says that we had 109 publicly submitted maps. In the legal report, it said 114, and I just clarified that I'm assuming the other 5 are from NDC, which is why they weren't included in the outreach report. And the second aspect of that was that the report specifies that the islands, the Channel Islands, are not accessible via ferry from Santa Barbara County. So I just wanted to confirm that that was in fact true.
And Dr. Phillips says, yes, that is true as to the transportation. I wonder if we can't just keep it here without redrafting it. I think it wasn't, that may have been the way it was, the difference, but we can put it in, we can redraft either one of them, I suppose.
Yeah, my read on it was exactly that, Ms. Orden, that the legal report referred to all maps that were considered. The outreach report specifically referred to publicly drawn maps, which was the difference in the two numbers. That's how I read it anyway.
Yeah. Chair Morris, this is Jennifer Fitzgerald with Trepepi Smith. That's how we wrote it. We didn't include the NDC maps in it.
Yeah, good. Ms. Turley, did you have a third item or was it just those two?
That's it. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? So perhaps we could have a motion that to accept the reports and forward them with the map. So recognizes Commissioner Bray is making the motion and Mr. McClintock is the second. Any further discussion on the part of the commission? Seeing none.
Just clarifying, this is just for the legal report or also for the outreach report?
So the outreach report is not a required report. I think it goes as an I'm not sure how you describe it. It's the legal report is the one that we have to formally adopt. So let's do that. And then I think, yeah, let's do that one. Dr. Phillips.
Commissioner Trotsky,
Aye.
Commissioner Twibell,
Aye.
Commissioner McClintock,
Aye.
Vice Chair Turley,
Aye.
Commissioner Bradley,
Aye.
Commissioner Kasich,
Aye.
Commissioner Bray,
Aye.
Commissioner Ochoa,
Aye.
Chair Morris.
Aye. Aye.
Commissioner Rios?
Aye.
Did you get Commissioner Hartman?
Yeah, 11-0.
Okay.
Aye.
I think we had an audio gap there between the two of you. So with regards to the outreach report, it's not a legally required requirement, but so I don't know that we need to vote, but I would just, is there any objection to forwarding it as part of our completed package? Mr. Turley.
I just had a few small little notes, one of which is that in the executive summary on page 3, it says there were 3 public workshops. However, we list 5. So I wasn't sure if those were just specifically ones that Trotsky Smith had hosted, or if we were just going to go ahead and make that the same as what's mentioned later. And then also the word ethnic is used a couple of times in regards to paid ethnic radio advertisements and a couple of other places. And I just don't know if that's the correct word to use in this context. Maybe cultural or Latinx is more appropriate, but that's just a stylistic note.
There's no timing on the posting of the outreach report. So that could be worked out and then 24 hours later have it posted.
Ms. Fitzgerald, any questions or concerns about those two?
Yeah, not at all. The 3 workshops we mentioned there were workshops that Trotsky Smith was a part of. So you were right, Vice Chair Turley. And obviously we're happy to change the language.
Very good. Okay, folks, I think that takes us to the end of our formal agenda. Let me just check. Oh, Ms. Trotsky.
I just have a question. If we are changing the language, what are we changing the language to?
I think I heard Latin X or cultural. I don't know that I have a preference.
And I think cultural would be a broader term to use.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say cultural maybe, so I agree with Commissioner Trotsky and Vice Chair Turley. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, so Ms. Orden, I think we've heard it the last night or two. What's next? So can you walk folks through where does this, so we're going to send this map and report to someone and they're going to do something and then, someday the voters will do something. Can you kind of explain how that all works?
Sure. This is one in which I think the ordinance is a little clearer than some of the other provisions that we spend a great deal of time with. And the ordinance says that it talks about how you got to where you are, but once the plan is approved, if the plan is approved by 7 or more affirmative votes of the commission, it shall be effective 30 days after it's filed with the county elections official. And as we said in our legal report, we are going to file it with the Santa Barbara County Clerk, Recorder, Assessor, and Registrar of Voters. And that will be done probably tomorrow morning. And so 30 days from then, this plan is in effect. Now, this plan, like other such plans, is still subject to referendum in the same manner as if it were an ordinance. Now, I don't think we want to spend our time tonight talking about the ordinance provisions. I can give you a picture of the fairly thick provisions regarding ordinances and referendums. I certainly hope that the community as a whole or any individuals will have the same point of view as the people in public comment today, and we won't have to worry about that. But it is subject to a referendum if all of the criteria were met. But that becomes effective. There's also always the legal process. So when we very first started this way back when, we recognized that very often there are lawsuits brought to question and to attack the plan. But that's nothing to talk about today. I think today is a day of celebration, listening to what the public comment has said consistently in terms of the work of this commission. And as our chair often says, it's civility. It's also its diligence and extraordinary work in terms of reaching compromises, as everyone has talked about.
Very good. Okay, Ms. Trotsky.
Will you tell us what happens to all of the information on the website? What happens to the website? How long will it be up?
I think it's 10 years, is it not, Dr. Phillips, that we have to have it at least archived for that period of time. I don't know how long it will be left up for the exact time, the way it is now. It may be into archive, but for a very substantial, I would certainly recommend a substantial period of time.
Yes, 10 years. And Trepepi Smith will ensure that the website continues to run for that amount of time.
So the website will be up for 10 years?
Yes, that's required by law.
So, if at some point you're feeling nostalgic. Very good. All right, let's clean this up. Ms. Orden, anything else from legal counsel to report on this evening?
Nothing to report on this evening. I think there was a question that I did hear from the public about perhaps there are some of you who have moved districts based upon your plan. And although the ordinance does not speak to that issue, the elections code does for elected officials, which is that you serve out your term. Well, your terms are 10 years. If they don't say that in the ordinance, but you are still a commission after you have approved.
Una comisión, aunque después de que estuviera aprobado.
So I believe our Spanish interpreter cut out for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
So I'm going to.
Can you reassign her back?
Reassign her.
Yeah. So, Ms. Orden, I think the ordinance actually says that. commissioners remain in
Entonces,
place.
como se me acabó el internet unos minutos, perdón a todos.
I think we remain in place until the first commissioner of
Creo
the
que
commission is appointed.
volvemos. Sí, es correcto, hasta que el primer comisionado fue elegido.
Sí, es correcto, sí.
Can we mute that or move her to the other channel?
Hold on, I've never had an interpreter drop off like this. Just a sec.
Yep.
Okay, try it now.
All right, Commissioner Rios.
Yes, I know you mentioned the referendum, Andrea. Is that on the website, or is that different than is that the same or different than the ordinance at the very bottom of the homepage? And just because I know what's on the homepage is 7 pages according to what I'm looking at, and then I wasn't sure if the public needed access to that or they had to go to the county website for it, in case anyone wanted to look at that for some weird reason.
The process for filing a referendum can be found on the county's website.
Okay, cool.
Well, Ms. Fitzgerald, anything final to report from your team?
No, sir, that's all. It's been a pleasure to work with all of you.
And the same. Dr. Phillips from NDC, any final report?
Just want you to know that we're going to be sending the shapefile and the census block files, everything the registrar needs tomorrow morning, and that should wrap up the process on our end. But like Jennifer said, it's been a pleasure to work with you, and thank you for all you've done.
You're welcome. So let me just do this. We usually don't have much to say in commissioner comments by the end of the night, but let me just kind of go around and see if anybody, so I'll just start in the corner. Commissioner Trotsky, any comments tonight?
I just want to thank, all of the consultants in the county and everyone that supported us. It's been a real pleasure and it's been a great experience for me, and I've learned a lot. And I just really appreciate all the commissioners, and it's been really interesting and dynamic. Thank you.
Commissioner Twibell.
I would say the same thing. I wanted to thank all the commissioners. I especially want to thank the public that actually participated. It was such a joy to hear all of the different viewpoints. I think everybody, said what they really wanted to say. And I do believe this commission listened. So I'm proud to be part of the commission. I want to thank everybody. So thank you.
Mr. McClintock.
Yes, thanks so much, especially to members of the public, for providing really well-considered maps and concepts for us to mull over. It's been a real pleasure working with everybody on the commission. I had high hopes, but not expectations that we would reach a consensus in this process. And it pleases me to no end that we were able to get there. So thank you all for making that happen.
Vice Chair Turley.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't think we could have asked for a more involved group in this process, from our support staff to fellow commissioners, but most importantly, of course, the public. I learned so much from this, not just about our county, which was incredible. I have to say, one of the highlights was our trip to Cuyama. We were just welcomed with open arms, and I can't wait to go back. But I've also learned that good government actually can work when everyone comes to it with good intentions and skills. So congratulations to the commission and to all of the folks who were involved in this, and just have to echo everyone else that I think that we came out with a great map.
Commissioner Bradley.
Well, it's been a long year, and I want to echo everyone else's thank you to my fellow commissioners for your consistent good faith efforts to work together and listen carefully to each other and consider other points of view. I also want to thank those who served as commissioners earlier in the process and who resigned their positions because of personal need, or like our late colleague, Kate Adams, left us unexpectedly. And Glenn, I really want to thank you, and also our vice chair, Megan Turley. I think, Glenn, you're hands down one of the most competent parliamentarians I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And I did not agree with every opinion you expressed or every single handling of our business, but I cannot imagine a better person to have stewarded this process. I shudder to consider how much harder and less workable this process might have been had we had someone who was less competent and spirited. So again, thank you very much. I want to thank also the staff again. We've heard thanks all around to them, and to our legal counsel, to NDC for all their efforts. And I want to echo what one of our public speakers said tonight. You had some really tough turnarounds in the last minute pinches that I'm sure you pulled some all-nighters to get some of those done. And in spite of that very late delivery of US Census data this year, which made things very difficult. And also to our outreach consultants who delivered the outreach we wanted. I thought that worked very well. And I also wanted to thank Carlos and Fernanda and the other translators, because you made this process everyone's process. So thank you to all of you. And then finally, thanks to the public who submitted their commentary, all those maps, and who voted for Measure G in the first place. So you proved that a Citizens Redistricting Commission, as imperfect as it is, as messy as it can work at the county level. And although, sometimes it's a messy, noisy business, it does work. So thank you very much, everyone, for participating.
Oh, thank you. Commissioner Kasich.
I want to thank all of the commissioners. I enjoyed working with you. I was one of the later arrivals, but I was very different opinions, but I respected everybody's right to have that opinion. And in the end, it sort of gave me a little bit of faith in our government in a very small way. I feel like I learned a lot. I want to thank the staff, who I think did an excellent job, as well as our legal counsel. Thank you. And on a lighter note, I have a strict rule of never allowing meetings to go beyond 30 minutes. So that 9-hour meeting sort of blew that out of the water, and you've ruined it. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much. And I hope to run into you guys sometime around Santa Barbara.
Very good. Commissioner Bray.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say what an honor for me it has been to work with each and every one of you commissioners, and particularly how much I have learned from each and every one of you. I look back on this year and it's just amazing to me. I've learned so much from all of you. Glenn, I think you know, I just echo what a tremendous job you have done and how grateful I am for your leadership and your statesmanship. Andrea, thank you for keeping us on that legal path. Staff, I just can't say enough about the hours and hours that you guys have put in on our behalf. And I am just truly grateful for that. But I particularly appreciate the process that was done with civility, with respect, with courtesy, and a willingness of each commissioner to listen to each other and to compromise. And I truly think we've set a very high standard here, and I am very, very proud of that.
Commissioner Ochoa.
Well, I want to add my thanks to everyone's comments before and say have a happy holiday season to everybody. And I hope that when we meet again in the new year, we can iron out recommendations to make this process easier for the next group that gets to do it in 10 years. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah, Commissioner Hartman.
Again, thank you to all involved in this process. And just one thing that's been going through my head is out to the public. We're members of the public. I mean, we're not anything particularly special. And, you know, we've heard a lot of people that felt like they were kind of a part of this through regular comments and attendance and meetings and written, you know, public comment and attending the meetings and everything. I challenge you to, you know, in 10 years or 9.5 years or 8.5 years or whenever this thing comes up again, step up. It's worth it. It is a lot of work and it is a lot of time, but at the end, it's an important, important service to our community, and it definitely, the outcome is worth the effort.
Commissioner Rios.
Thank you, Chair Morris. I just want to say thank you to the public for coming out, holding us accountable, being here, sitting through all of this with us, especially that 9-hour. I couldn't believe it. Thank you to all the consultants, the county. You guided us through everything, answered our questions, and to the commissioners, thank you. I learned so much from all of you, and just this process taught me so much. I still can't believe I did this. I'm very young, and so I tell myself this is the closest I am gonna get to politics, because I don't think it's for me. So I think it's really cool that I got to experience this. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity that I will forever hold on to. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Well, I want to echo what's been said on a couple of points in particular. One, I think everybody recognizes that our legal and demographic and public outreach and county support staffs have put in an awful lot, probably, more hours than we have, because not only do they have to be with us, but they had to deal with all the stuff in between. And so I want to really acknowledge and recognize that effort on their part. As been said earlier, the schedule was not what anyone would have chosen, and nor was it anything that we could have changed given the external realities. But they took it, they made it work, and they stuck with us, and so I'm grateful for that. Commissioner Brown, I appreciated you acknowledging those who had served at the beginning and for various reasons weren't able to get to the finish line with us today. I think their efforts are part of the record and are important to acknowledge there as well. Commissioner Ochoa forecasted an item that I wanted to focus on. Throughout the last year or so, I think a number of us and many in the public have acknowledged that the ordinance, while well intended and functioned for the first cycle, needs some refinement. And I think everyone knows that, and that there are improvements that can be made in terms of how it clarifies issues and how it facilitates the operation of the process. After the first of the year, we will announce a process where we will engage the public again in an exercise to gather those suggestions while they're still fresh in our minds. I don't expect in 8 years that I'll remember any of this, let alone the specific details. So we want to do that after the first of the year when it's fresh. We're still kind of working with the staff on what that will look like. If folks are interested in that and have not yet subscribed to the email system that you can do through our website, we'd encourage you to do that. I suspect that will be the primary way we will communicate the process, and any dates for hearings or other mechanisms will be through that email system that the county makes available through the Draw Santa Barbara County website. So if you've not yet subscribe to the email, do so. And I suspect there'll also be a press release that will go out at a later date on that. And Commissioner Hartman, I loved your suggestion. Lots of people had a lot of passion around this issue, and I hope at least 10 of them raise their hand in 10 years. And anybody that's interested, I'd be happy to write you a letter of recommendation. So, this was a great experience, but one that I'm sure my wife at least has indicated will be someone else's turn in the future. So, with that, we're going to give the public the last word. General public comments, items not related to our agenda. If anybody has anything they just need to get into the record, now's your moment. While I'm not seeing any hands there, Commissioner Trotsky, take us home.
I would feel remiss if I didn't also echo the other commissioners in thanking the public for their outstanding participation. It really made all the difference. Thank you.
Yes.
I think that's the note we should end on this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this commission stands adjourned. Have a great night. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.